Located in Dayton, Ohio, the U.S. Air Force Museum is the world's largest military aviation museum with over 350 aerospace vehicles and missiles on display. It also features a presidential gallery with 10 historic aircraft that served the president over 70 years. Numerous galleries throughout the museum take you through aviation history from the Wright brothers to the modern day with many one-of-a-kind aircraft. Throughout these buildings, be sure and look up as many of the displays are suspended from the ceiling. Starting in the early years gallery, this is the 1916 wind tunnel that was installed at the Wright brothers laboratory in Dayton, Ohio. It was used on various aerodynamic experiments during World War I. The internal airspeed reached 160 miles per hour. The original engine, designed by Charles Taylor and Wilbur and Orville Wright, developed problems in service, leading to design changes. By 1913, a modified engine known as the Wright 660 evolved. At 1,560 RPM, it was claimed that this engine developed 72 to 75 horsepower. In 1917, Charles F. Kettering of Dayton, Ohio, invented the unmanned Kettering aerial torpedo, nicknamed the Bug. Launched from a four-wheel dolly that ran down a portable track, the Bug system of internal preset pneumatic and electrical controls stabilized it and guided it toward a target. After a predetermined length of time, a control-closed electrical circuit would shut off the engine. Then the wings were released, causing the Bug to plunge to Earth, where its 180 pounds of explosive detonated on impact. The Dayton Wright Airplane Company built fewer than 50 Bugs before the armistice, and the Bug never saw combat. After the war, the U.S. Army Air Service conducted additional tests, but scarcity of funds in the 1920s halted further development. Museum personnel built this full-size reproduction of the Bug, and it went on display in 1964. This Italian Caproni bomber is one of two known Caproni bombers remaining from the First World War. Towards the end of World War I, the third version, the CA-36, went into production. Changes from the CA-33 were small but included 5-section wings which made for easy disassembly and surface transportation. It carried two Ravelli 6.5mm machine guns and 1,764 pounds of bombs. Its maximum speed was 87 miles per hour. The maximum range was 372 miles, and it carried a crew of 4. The CA-36 on display was obtained by the U.S. Air Force Museum in 1987. It was restored at the museum and is on loan from the Museo Aeronautica in Italy. First ordered in June of 1920, the Martin MB-2 replaced a handful of British Hadley Page 0400 and Italian Caproni bombers produced in the United States under license during World War I. The MB-2 was the Air Service's bomber until replaced in the late 1920s. Today, no original MB-2s exist. The reproduction on display at the museum was built using the original Martin drawings and completed in 2002. The MB-2 was built with an internal wood structure and fabric covering. The design incorporated folding wings to enable its large wingspan to fit into a hangar. Carrying a crew of 4, it had 5 .30-caliber machine guns and a maximum 3,000-pound bomb load. Maximum speed was 99 miles per hour with a range of 558 miles. The Ford Model T ambulance version's lightweight made it well suited for use on the muddy and shell-torn roads in forward combat areas of World War I. If stuck in a hole, a group of soldiers could lift one without much difficulty. The light wooden body was mounted on a standard Model T auto chassis. The 4-cylinder engine produced about 20 horsepower. There was no self-starter and the engine had to be cranked by hand. This vehicle was equipped with an early form of automatic transmission and could carry 3 litters or 4 seated patients, and 2 more could sit with the driver. Many American Field Service and Red Cross volunteer drivers, including writers Ernest Hemingway and Bret Harte and cartoonist Walt Disney, drove the Model T ambulance. The ambulance on display was acquired from and restored by Vintage Aviation Service Incorporated, Marion, Texas.